Shalom to Brother Shamar.
It's Kasad.
Yahawah.
And today we're going to bring out a lesson about the uncomely parts of the body. But before we do that, we want to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahawah,
Yahawah,
bahasham,
bahasham,
Yahawashi. Double honor to the elders of Great Millstone. And peace and salutation to all you brothers out there doing this work in truth and sincerity, man. And the thing we're about to get into today is how every part of the body is important, even though to the person that's part of that body, he may not feel important, man. But or for younger brothers or new brothers just coming in, and with that, we're gonna get the first picture.
Yeah, this is
Okay,
Khan, brother. This is the book of Romans 14 and 19. I'm sorry, 18. It says, for he that in these things serveth Yahawashi is acceptable to the Most High and approved of men. Let us therefore follow after things which make for peace and things wherewith one may edify another.
so that's our whole role as brothers, man, to edify one another and to build one another up, man. That's your part of the truth, man, because the Most High, he's building you up to be a Hebrew Israelite, man. You got to put away you being a Mexican or you being a Negro, because you're not that. You're not that, And you gotta, like the scriptures say, you gotta transform yourself, man. And the way he does that is through chastisement. He does that to rebuke. You know what I'm saying? He brings you into a low place. And it has all to build you up. To break you down and build you back up again, man. To make you to a man of the Lord, man. And the only way that's done is through going through tribulations, man. Just like Yahawashi had to go through his suffering. We have to partake in that same suffering, man. We gotta drink the same cup, so to speak. Yahawashi drank from, and that cup is going through these things that we gotta go through, man. Yahawashi went through all the things that brothers in the truth go through, man. He went through that low spirit, man. He went through feeling abandoned. He went through feeling outcast. He went through sicknesses. And all that stuff, man. He went through those things, and we got to go to those things too, because the servant is not greater than a master, man, like the scriptures say. That's something.
Khan. This is a book of Romans, the 12th chapter, according to what the brother was saying, that through sufferings and through chastisement, through the scriptures, being in His truth, transforming from going into the world and having the thoughts of the world and the things that you suffer in the world, to coming into the truth and suffering in the truth, and learning how to be in this truth. You know what I mean? So we follow after things that make peace and to edifying of the body, edifying of one another. This is the book of Romans 12, and I'm going to start at 1. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of the Most High, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto the Most High, which is your reasonable service. So, the Apostle Paul is beseeching, us through the mercy of the Most High, because we receive mercy by getting this truth, that we present our bodies as a living sacrifice, man, and that's really exactly what it means, man. A living sacrifice is, always knowing that, we're delivered unto death in this life, that there's death on every side. You know what I mean? And this is our reasonable service, man. This is to get the kingdom, to get to Yahawashi and the kingdom, and get immortality. We have to basically go through that straight gate. You know what I'm saying? And that's our reasonable service. This is something that it's a price you have to pay, man, to be in this truth, is to present your body as a living sacrifice, and in the midst of everything that we go through, man, all the time we're delivered unto death, all the time we're delivered unto ridicule, but hey, that's the sacrifice that we have to take. This is Romans 12 and 2, continuing, it says, and be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of the Most High. All right, so we're not supposed to be conforming to this world, man. We're supposed to put up that old man and the old way of thinking, and that's a lot of different aspects. That's a lot of different things. It says, and renew our mind. You know what I mean? So we're supposed to have a new mind when we come into this truth. And it takes time, but at the the same token, that's something that you have to change. It says that you may prove what is that good and acceptable, perfect will of the Most High. So you have to prove, by the transforming of your mind, hey, what thing is of the world and what thing is of the truth, and change that about yourself and change that about your mind. Because this thing it's a mental thing more than anything.
Yeah.
So I'm going to continue on the third verse. For I say through the grace given unto me, to every man that is among you, not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think, but to think soberly, according as the Most High had dealt to every man the measure of faith.
Like the brother was saying, you got to present your body as a living sacrifice, man. Being basically your whole being. Your body being your whole being. That includes the mental, physical, and spiritual part of yourself, man. And when you sacrifice all those elements, that whole being of your body, that comes with the fire that goes with it, man. The mental anguish that you'll feel sometimes, man. Demons be messing with you sometimes, man. Or you can have a woman problem. All these are mental anguishes that brothers in the truth go through. You can have physical ailments. You know what I'm saying? You can have trouble in the flesh, man. You could have trouble at your job, financial troubles. All these things are coming up to you, man. Because like brother said, Romans 1, present your body as a living sacrifice, man. And with this, I got 1 Corinthians 6 and 19, and it says, "What? Know ye not that your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit, which is in you, which ye have of Yahawah, and ye are not of your own." So when we come out and do this work, man, we present our body as a living sacrifice. We are no longer our own person. We're giving up our services, our spirit, our whole being to Yahawashi and Yahawashi and pushing out His word, man. And I'm gonna continue on. For you are bought with a price. Therefore, glorify Yahawah in your body and your spirit, which are Yahawah's, man. Like the brother said, Romans 1, man, we are presenting ourselves as a living sacrifice, man, for this truth. There's a lot of people out there that can't do that, man. Or they don't want to give up, the scriptures say the pride of life and, the things of this world, the lust of the eyes and the pride of life, man. They don't want to give none of that up. They don't want to give none of that comfort up. They don't want to sacrifice a Saturday. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to stop eating bacon or whatever. It could be whatever bullshit like that, man. You know what I'm saying? But brothers in this truth, man, the Spirit got put on them to want to and to desire to make those sacrifices, man. Because we see a greater thing, man. Hey, hope was that scripture? Hope is the thing not seen what we perfect, man. Yeah. Hope is something that we don't see. We can only hope, man. But we're striving and fighting for that hope, man. You brother got something?
I'm gonna go back to Romans real quick, so I can find it.
Yeah, it's lucky, man. Like I was saying, the scripture says, "Hope is the substance of things not." I'm trying to remember that scripture. I'm just gonna find it, man. I don't want to butcher it up.
That's right.
It's lucky me find that real quick.
Let me go back to the book of Romans, the 12th. Romans 12 and 3. For I say to the grace given unto me, to every man that is among you, not to think himself more highly than he ought to think, but to think soberly, according as the Most High hath dealt to every man the measure of faith. So it was the Most High, Yahawashi and Yahawashi, they dealt to the man the measure of his faith, man. And we're not supposed to think highly of ourselves, because if you think highly of yourself, the Lord will jack you up, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The Lord will set you down in a lower state. It says that in the book of Sirach, the second chapter. You know what I mean? The Lord will set you down on the ground where you have no choice but to look around and examine yourself and examine the situations around you. You know what I mean? And this is all things that come into the truth. The scriptures say there's examples of the prophets and the things that they went through. You know what I mean? So we're supposed to always look into the scriptures and to the prophets, and more importantly, Yahawashi, man. You know what I'm saying? He dealt to us the measure of faith. Everyone is different in the body. Everyone has a different level of faith. Everyone's given like a different portion. Like for instance, like when you serve a family, man. Everyone has a different portion, from a small child to an older man. Everyone has a different portion. A small child's he's not gonna have a big old steak. You know what I'm saying? And that's every one of us, man. Every one of us is dealt a different measure and a different lot. And with that, you know what I mean. We are not to think soberly, man. You know, the scriptures say, or if you're paraphrasing, it says, you know, to be gird up the loins of your mind, man, and be sober. You know what I'm saying?
Man. Hey, like I was reading in Hebrews, that scripture, this is Hebrews 11:1. Now, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen, man. Hey, so what we're doing, man, what we're attempting to do, what we're striving to do in this truth, man, is to increase our faith, man. You know, the scriptures say faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. We can't see the kingdom, man. You know, we can't see our reward, but through the Spirit, we know it's real. You know what I'm saying? And because the Most High has given us that faith to believe in it, man. You know, we believe that chariots are gonna come and save the elect, man. Most High willing, you know, we are those men, and we believe that the Most High is going to give men spiritual powers. You know, like you see in superhero movies, man. You know, we believe these far-fetched things to the world. These are far-fetched things, man. But you know, to brothers in the truth, these are realities to us, man. That we are hoping that we know that's going to come to pass, man. When the scripture says that 10 should chase 1,000, and we believe that, man. You know what I'm saying? When the scriptures say that roughly paraphrasing that, he makes my hands to bend the steel bow, spiritual powers. And we believe that actually can really happen, that man can actually do that through the spirit of Yahawashi, when that time comes, he puts that spirit on certain brothers, man. And at the same token, we also believe that some of us are going to have to be martyred for this truth, man. We accept all these things, man, because why? Because we have hope. I mean, you can't, no person in their right mind, like in the world, they're not going to go through all these things that we go through. They're gonna say, you crazy, man. Why you going through all this? Why you catching all this hell, man? You should just, enjoy life, make it easy. Hey, but we accepted the straight gate, man. We accepted the hard road, man. We knew, coming into this truth that the demons were gonna start, after us, that we were gonna be a target, that we were gonna catch hell, man, that we were gonna go through things, that we were gonna lose things, man. When we knew all these things, man, but we continued on anyways, man. Because we have that hope. That's some brother.
Come on, brother. When you said before you said straight gate, I was already looking it up. So that's the spirit, man. Because we are a body, man. And the Most High has dealt to us all a different measure, a lot. We all have different offices. We all have different, if you want to get that, we all have different offices. We're going into the body a little bit. But I'm going to get what the brother said, to back up what the brother said. This is Matthew 7:13. It says, enter ye in at the straight gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat. All right, so enter ye in at the straight gate, and we know, through the apostles that have taught us this truth, man. We've looked it up, but that word straight means position of difficulty. So enter ye into a position of difficulty, all right? And for wide is the gate, man. So enter ye into that position of difficulty, because that position to get there is a wide gate.
Mm-hmm.
It's and broad is the way that leads to destruction, and many there be that go in thereat. But the straight gate is a narrow passage, man. Matter of fact, it says that in the book of if I can find it real quick, it's in Sirach. Salakia in Esdras, all right. This is Sirach. Salakia, second Esdras 7 and 7 and 7. The entrance thereof is narrow and is set in a dangerous place to fall, like as if there were a fire on the right hand and on the left hand of deep water. So that's what that straight gate is, man. And in Esdras he painted it too. On one side, on the right side is where a fire. On the left side was a deep water. What happens if you fall, man? All right. So if the gate is narrow and on the right you got fire, on the left you got water, and because we know there's death all around us, man. You commit a sin, and that's it. You're unto death, man.
So basically, if you fall, you either drown or you're burned up.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So
either way is death.
Either way is death, man.
It says, and only one path between them both, and even between the fire and the water, so small that there could but one man go there at once.
Come, and that goes along with seek your salvation, man. With what I'm saying, with fear and trembling, man. I forgot what the word, but I'll get it right now, man.
Come. So I'm gonna continue right here in Matthew 7:14. And while you get that, this is Matthew 7:14, because straight is the gate and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it. So this truth, man, that the Lord has bestowed upon us, this position that we have gotten, man, it's not for everybody, man. It's for a chosen few, man, the best of the best. And you got to strive for the best, man. And sometimes, scriptures say, righteous man fall, but get up 7 times, man. The scriptures say that, entering at the straight gate. So the scriptures are the Lord has warned us and told us, man, that the way to the kingdom, it's a straight, it's a difficult path, and there not many are gonna find it, man. You know what I mean? So the scripture has said, man, and many are called and few are chosen, man. So that's why, like the brother was saying, we strive for perfection, man. Just like Yahawashi said, hey, be perfect, even like your Father in heaven is perfect, man. Because ain't nobody good, man. You know what I'm saying? But hey, we're striving for perfection, and we're doing the work. The Lord has given us this ministry. You know what I'm saying? Coming back into Him, and that's why we're doing the work, man. That's why we do these videos, and we go out to the highways and hedges, man, to to show the Lord our faith, man. And that we have hope. Even though it's a straight gate, we still gotta endure, man.
But yeah, like the brother said, man, that straight gate it's a hard walk, man. And Yahawashi, clearly put it to you that that was the path that you gotta walk. And that's why the scripture always talk about enduring it to the end, man, because it's presenting unto you a hard road. That's why when Yahawashi stopped Apostle Paul, he told him go find Paul, man, because I gotta show him the things he must suffer for my name's sake, man. You found that scripture yet?
That scripture's in the book of Acts, the 9th chapter. You want to get it?
Yeah, where you get that out?
Let me get that. It's the book of Salakia. Let me find it real quick. Yeah, that's right, man. Because remember the Paul at one point, he was a Jew, but at the same time he was a Pharisee, and he was under the strict sect of the Pharisees. He said.
Yeah. Where it says scripture, he was a Hebrew among Hebrews, man. So he was like hardcore in it, man. But he was going hard for what he was doing, persecuting the men of the Lord, man. And there's also a scripture in the book is that why kick his dog against the I forgot what it was, but kick his dog my phone back,
Yeah, he said why kick his dog against the pricks. He was telling Paul, Yahawashi was telling Paul, like, why you going against the grain, so to speak, man. You know what I mean? But Paul was a chosen vessel, because the scriptures say at first, Paul was persecuting the saints, man. Even unto death.
God.
Let's see. This is you know what? Let me see.
Yeah, man. So I'm gonna bring out a scripture, man.
Condom.
And this is a 1 Corinthians. You know what? Go ahead and read that one out. Like told you out. That 1 Corinthians. 1 Corinthians 12:18.
12:18.
Yeah.
Con. There's 1 Corinthians 12:18. But now have Yahawah sent the members, every one of them, in the body, as have pleased Him.
Yeah. So wherever you're at in this truth, man. Whether you be a sign holder or a speaker or a teacher, cameraman, the Most High put you there because it pleases Him to put you there at that moment, man. He does what he pleases. The Most High is he's the ultimate camp leader, Yahawashi, man. You know what I'm saying? He appoints men over you, you know, and he appoints he points out those men from the highest to the lowest, for the highest, you know, from the top brother in the camp, you know, to the lowest brother in the camp. But guess what, man? They all serve a role. They all serve a purpose, man. You know, they all bring something to the table, so to speak. You know, like the brother Humble one always say, man. You know, we're like the X-Men, and when we unite all our power together, you know, then we accomplish things, man. So when we're out in the highways and byways, every brother contributes to the battle that we're fighting out there, man. You know, the spiritual battle that we're fighting out there, man. You know, which is bringing the judge, you know, turning the judgment to these people, which is fishing for the elect, you know what I'm saying? Which is going against these scoffers that walk up or whatever it is the case may be. Every brother has a part in that, man. You know, a brother will bring out a scripture, man, and and another brother will hold a sign, you know, pertaining to that scripture, man. You know what I'm saying? Or brother got his brothers watching, you know, keeping posts, man. You know what I'm saying? There's brothers reading, you know, and that's all these are in the scriptures, man. All these offices are in the scriptures, man. I have that one scripture that you were talking about the office, man.
Hold on 1 second, but
Oh, go ahead.
Salakia. Um, I just wanted to bring for edification about Ananias, and then we can jump back into what we were talking about. But just for edification, we were talking about it. This is Acts 9:5. It says, "Then Ananias answered, Lord, I have heard by many of this man how much evil he had done to the saints at Jerusalem." See, because like scriptures say, you know, that Paul, he was persecuting the saints, man, because at that time, Yahawashi didn't have opened his eyes yet to the gospel, to the repentance for the sins of Israel. Back then, they only knew the law.
Mm.
He was persecuting the saints. He was on his way to Damascus when he fell off a horse. You know what I mean? And he went blind. And he went to Ananias, and Ananias relieved him of his sight. But Ananias told the Lord, he said, "And here he hath authority from the chief priest to bind all that call on thy name." But the Lord said unto him, "Go thy way, for he is a chosen vessel unto me to bear my name before the Gentiles and the kings and the children of Israel. For I will shew him how great things he must suffer for my name's sake."
God.
So that's just going back into how before, even before we came into this truth, you know what I mean? When we came into this truth, you know, we have to suffer for that name, Yahawashi. Just to have the name and have this knowledge, you got to go through things, man. And and that's where the Lord puts you in the body. So basically, Paul, he was getting put into the body.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that was his rite of passage. That for really, honestly, for what he did, you know what I mean? You could kind of by reasoning, you could kind of see that the reason why Ananias have said that about him. They're like, well, we know this guy. We know of him. We know what he's done. But the Lord says, don't worry, man. He's a chosen vessel, and for my name's sake, he must suffer many things, man. And that's us too in this truth, man. For the name of Yahawashi and for this doctrine, man, we got to suffer all kinds of things, man. It's really, there's really no formula, or antidote for the things you go through. It's just a myriad of things, just all kind of things.
Yeah, man.
But go ahead, man.
That Romans 12:4 says, for as we have many members in one body, and all members have not the same office.
Come.
So we being many are one body in Yahawashi, and everyone members of one another. So we have different offices and different gifts and different things, but like the scripture says right here, man. So we being many are one body, Christ, and everyone members one of another. So we are all important to one another, man. So the lowest brother, he's important, to the higher brother, man. The higher brother important to the lower brother, man. It's all for the edification of the body as a whole, man. And like when the brother brought on the beginning, man, let no man think highly, higher himself than he ought to think, man. Because every man has been dealt the measure of his face. Can you get that back for me, brother? That one.
2 Corinthians.
I think it's
First Corinthians. What?
No, it was
Romans 12, right? And 9, something like that.
I'll let you know which one it is. It's let's see. It was 1 Corinthians. It was Romans 12:3. Yeah, get that Romans 12:3 again.
I'll get up.
Yeah, go ahead.
Romans 12:3.
Yeah.
For I say, through the grace given unto me,
Mm-hmm.
to every man that is among you, not to think of himself more highly than he thought to think.
Yeah, the brother said, everybody should be thinking, whether you hold a leadership position or whether you on the low position, you shouldn't be thinking more highly than yourself than you ought to think. And when the way you ought to think is in a humble, big spirit, man. Continue.
But to think soberly, according as Yahawah hath dealt to every man the measure of faith.
Yeah, so Most High has given every man a measure of faith. Some brothers have, more faith than others, and some brothers got to be built up to that level of faith, man. Well, that's the job of the older brothers, man. The Spirit of Yahawashi, he builds these younger brothers up, man, and he does it by example, through edification, through sound, right doctrine, that's how you build brothers up, man. By being brotherly towards them, by caring for them, man. Go ahead. Can you go ahead and read that back again?
All right.
The whole thing.
Con. For I say through the grace given unto me to every man that think is among you, not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think,
Con.
but to think soberly, according as Yahawah hath dealt to every man the measure of faith.
Can I give you 1 Corinthians 12:18? Like the brother just said, according as Yahawah has dealt to every man the measure of his faith. So it's up to the Most High to appoint those positions, man. To appoint those levels of faith, man. Because we do nothing of our own. Everything we do is through the will of Yahawashi, man. According to Israel. Go ahead and get that.
1 Corinthians 12 and 18.
Huh?
But now have Yahawah sent the member, every one of them, in the body as it hath as it hath pleased him.
As it has pleased him. So wherever you at in the body, it's according to the will of Yahawashi. Whatever he pleases at that moment, you know what I'm saying? If it pleases the Most High if it pleases Yahawashi that he wants you to hold a sign, guess what? You holding a sign, man. And but you do that with all sincerity, man. You do it to the best of your ability, man. If he got you holding a camera, then that's your part of the body, man. And all these parts of the body are important, man. You know what I'm saying? You got something on that?
No.
Okay, yeah. Every part of the body are important, man. And with that, I want to give me 1 Peter 5 and 5. Yeah. So every member of the body is important, man. Everybody plays a role, you know what I'm saying? And in this thing of our, we all have that, like the brother said, the straight gate. We all have to walk that path, by ourselves. But at the same time, we have tools, brothers, to encourage and edify and exhort us along the way. You know what I'm saying? Like the scripture says in Proverbs, let me try to find it. Iron sharpens iron, man. You know what I'm saying?
I got one real quick.
Go ahead, Art.
This is in the book of Corinthians 8, starting at the top. Now, as touching things offered unto idols, we know that we all have knowledge, right? So, because we know what idols are, we know, that anything that is not of this truth is basically idol, is wickedness. We know that we all have knowledge. Knowledge puffeth up, but charity edifieth.
Man.
So when you get this, when you come into the truth, man, you get filled with so much wisdom.
Yeah.
You get filled with so much of that honey. It's sweet to the stomach, but after a while, you're enduring this truth, man, and things, through much knowledge cometh much grief, much bitterness. You know what I'm saying? And that's how that knowledge is, man. The more you get, the more you know, and you want to go out and say things, and you want to, basically, spew it all out, man.
Yeah.
But the scriptures speak about eating too much honey, man, and the scriptures speak about, knowledge puffing up, man. So I'm gonna continue. It says, knowledge puffeth up, but charity edifieth. And we know charity is brotherly love, man. Because when you a brother, man, you do this all through wisdom, and you do this all through the scriptures say wisdom is manifold subtile, and that means that you have to know how to find a way to reach that brother, man. You know how to have to find a way to know how to explain things.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's wisdom is very subtle. It's not like a big car crash bang. It's kind of like slowly eases its way and finds parables and different stories and anecdotes and jokes and things to, break the ice, plant the seed. It's wisdom is very it's quick, man. What I mean. What I'm saying is that wisdom is very it's very for lack of better words, it's sly. Or what I'm saying? That's a bad word to use, but I'm saying that's how it would be sometimes.
That's cool out because people say to be wise as the serpent and harmless as doves, man.
Yes.
So in that sense, you have to be subtle. You know what I'm saying? What's truth, man. Hey, the wisdom is subtle. It's on a different level than your average thinking, man. What the brother probably trying to say. You know what I'm saying? And sly is like you're being crafty, man. You're doing it in a way so like sometimes when you gotta talk to a brother, man, you don't want to really go hard on him because you don't want to shake him up, man. So sometimes you just say things in a certain way so he understands it, but at the same time, you're doing it, in a merciful sense, man.
Right, and sometimes you do gotta go hard on the
Sometimes
brother,
you do
man.
gotta go,
You know what I'm saying?
sometimes you do have to go hard on the brother, man. You know what? And at the same time, you have to go hard on yourself, man. Saying before you go hard on the brother, man, you gotta go hard on yourself. You know what I'm saying? Before you tell like the script, before you tell the brother, what's wrong with him, you should examine what's wrong with you first, man. And that's part of being humble, man. That's part of not letting knowledge puff you up.
Hey, but you know what? That's part of edifying the body.
Calm, brother.
You know what I'm saying? I got a scripture. I'm gonna continue this scripture. I got another scripture too.
Calm, man.
This is 1 Corinthians 8 and 2. And if any man think that he knoweth anything, he knoweth nothing yet as he ought to know, man.
Man, for real.
And that's how it is sometimes, man. Sometimes you in this truth, man, and you think you know something, man, but you really don't know anything.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? You don't, especially when you come into this truth, being under the tutelage under the apostles of Great Millstone, man. Younger brothers, we don't know anything, man.
Yeah, and even now we are humbled. We ourselves are humbled by when we look at other brothers, man. You know what I'm saying? That been in this for longer than we have. We are humbled by what they know, man.
Calm.
We're humbled by what the apostles know, man.
Yeah, their stiffness for the word, their cool headedness, their I know for a fact, me myself, man, I'm amazed at how older brothers, even brothers in our camp, man, how they're unmovable, man.
Yeah,
you look at them and they're what I'm saying, and they're firm in the truth, man. But that comes with what the Lord's measure of faith, given to every man according to their to the Most High with how He wants it to be done. And everybody's in the body on their different. Everybody's poured a different glass measure, man, of faith in this truth, man.
Mm-hmm. And for younger brothers, like you said, we marvel at at brothers that the example that brothers give us, man. Like the brothers in our camp they give us good examples, man, because they show by their example their firmness in the word, man. Their diligence, you know what I'm saying?
Calm, yeah.
Their steadfastness.
Their love.
And their love.
Their love.
God, their love is truth, man. That's all I have to say. Go ahead, what you saying, brother?
Yeah, they're loving the truth. See, because the scriptures say, man, ye shall know if you are my disciples if you love one another.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? And you know who are the Lord's disciples if they confess the Lord, man. You know what I'm saying? I got this little scripture, the third verse. This is, but if any man love the Most High, the same is known of him. And any man that loves the Most High, you can see it in their speech. You can see it in their sincerity and their diligence and their wanting for correction. You know what I'm saying? The scriptures say, "He that dwelleth among the wise, he that heareth the reproof of life shall dwell among the wise." In the book, roughly paraphrasing.
Yeah.
So you gotta want to get that correction. You gotta want to strive for betterness, and he who loves the Most High is is known, man.
Hey, brother, you know that Proverbs 27 and 17. Going along with the brothers saying, man, about edification and and building yourself up, man. Saying how brothers gotta build each other up, man, and how how we edify and exhort the body, man. Go ahead, whenever you got that, go ahead for you.
Proverbs
27 and 17.
27 and 17.
Con, go ahead.
Iron sharpeneth iron, so as a man sharpeneth the countenance of his friend.
Yeah, brothers in this truth, we build each other up, man. You know what I'm saying? We sharpen each other, you know, to deal with the things that we gotta deal with. Like you can have a brother that's been through something that you haven't been through, and he'll give you the lowdown on it, man. And that gives you more wisdom to deal with that situation. You know what I'm saying? And you yourself could go through, have been through something, and you can get a lowdown to another brother, man. Hey, like, you know, I know what you're going through. I've been there myself, but this is how I handle it, or this is what I do when that situation or that moment comes, man. You know, so hey, like the brother said, iron sharpens iron, man. You know, so is a man that counts, so a man sharpens the countenance of his friend, man. You know, that's talking about a brother, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, and sometimes, all you need is a phone call from a brother, and he lifts your spirits up, man. You know what I'm saying? Or a friend, you get a word from a brother. You know, he tell you something. You know, through the spirit, he might bring up that scripture that you needed to hear at that time, man. You know, I know it happened to me many times where, where I was feeling a certain way, and brother, just out of the blue, just bring out the scripture that I needed at that moment. But all that's through the spirit, man. That's to prove to you that all of this is through the spirit, man. You know what I'm saying? This is not a carnal thing, man. This is on another level, man. You can almost say a mystical, a supernatural level, man. This whole thing, yeah. And you really gotta marvel at it, man. You really gotta marvel of how the Lord is bringing all this to pass, man. Bringing all this all this to the lowdown. He's breaking it all down, man. You really gotta marvel on the supernatural, spiritual aspect of it, man. Because it's deep, man. It's deep. You know what I'm saying? It's deep in how we gather and we do this thing, man, through the spirit. You know what I'm saying? You got anything else?
I got some. Are you done with that, brother? This is 1 Corinthians 9 and 19. For though I be free from all men, yet have I made myself servant unto all, that I might gain the more. So we're servants, man. We're servants unto all of us, man. So we may gain more. What? Gain more fruit, because that's what we're in this thing. We're in this thing to edify and to gain fruit. You know what I mean? And to serve, man. To serve one another, man. To serve brothers, man. This is 1 Corinthians 9 and 20. And unto the Jews I became as a Jew, that I might gain the Jews. To them that are under the law, as under the law, that I might gain them that are under the law. To them that are without the law, as without law, being not without law to the Most High, but under the law to Hamashiach. Because the thing about it is that when you're amongst brothers, man, you gotta be brotherly and according to upright doctrine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And and to those that are under the law, apostles, and to people that only know, you know what I'm saying, the law, and you gotta deal in the law too. You gotta know all things. It says to them that are without the law, as without the law. So at times, when you're dealing in the world, and in that sense of not being around brothers on your daily walk, you really don't bring out this knowledge. You know what I'm saying? You don't throw your pearls to the swine, but you deal with them, you know what I'm saying? And they may say you like, he's not a Jew, you know what I'm saying? But because, you're a Jew inwardly, so you deal with them like if you weren't with the law, but but you really are following the law, because you don't ever cast out this truth for anybody in the world. This is to them that are without the law, as without law, being not without law to the Most High, but under the law to Hamashiach, because we have grace right now, man. We have grace right now. We're gonna mess up, man. Demons will jump on you, man. Yeah. Demons will try to sift you out this truth, man. At a certain moment and shit, you gotta be, on point, man. You know what I'm saying? You gotta fight back, But it says, because it says, to them that are without law, as without law, being not without law to the Most High, but under the law to Hamashiach, that I may gain them that are without the law. So we, when we teach to bring fruit, sometimes we gotta, how do you say, you play the role with people, man. This guy's a doctor. You speak to him about, medicines that are in the scriptures. You know what I'm saying? That's if you see fruit. You know what I'm saying? But,
Yeah.
and so on and so forth. If you talk about sports and you tell people, if the someone worthy of knowing, that our people were given into gymnasiums in the book of Maccabees and how the heated customs and how it's really entertainment for the back like with the Romans and all that history things like that.
Yeah.
You break certain things down. It says that I might gain them that are without law. To the weak became I as weak, that I may gain the weak. I am made all things to all men, that I might by all means save some. And that's what this thing is about, man. Our earnest expectation, is that they all will get it, but they have a zeal, but not according to knowledge, man. So that's what we're doing this thing for, is to what? To gain fruit, to gather the elect. That's why we have been brought into this truth, is to gather the elect of Israel. All right. And this I do for the gospel's sake, right? For the gospel to spread the knowledge, that I may be partaker thereof with you. So we become all things to all men. To what? To also glory in the kingdom with our fruit.
Okay. And that's and like the brother said, man, we do that thing to fish for the elect, man, because the elect are the only ones going to be saved. We're not trying to convert everybody. That's not our mission. The Most High, He didn't send us on a mission to convert the world, man. He sent us on a mission to preach the gospel, To that, and that goes along with bringing Esau's judgment out. You know what I'm saying? Condemning wickedness. Standing up against wickedness. Like the scripture says, standing up against the evildoers, man. All that's part of the truth, man. And and a brotherhood's a big part of the truth, man. A brotherhood's a big part of the truth. So how you treat other brothers too is important, man. You know what I'm saying? And with that, I want to give me can you give me Romans 14 and 13? So like the brother said, man, we be all things to all men, and that goes along with brothers too, man.
Yeah.
Sometimes with brothers you gotta be, things to them too. You gotta get on their level, man. Or they'll try to talk to you on your level, or not, try to find something in common with you, man, to break bread with you, and to get your point across to you, man. You got that?
Romans 14:13, right?
Yes, go ahead.
This is Romans 14 and 13.
Uh,
Let us not therefore judge one another anymore, but judge this rather, that no man put a stumbling block or an occasion to fall in his brother's way.
so we gotta be careful with what you say to brothers, man. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be careful how you treat brothers, man. Because that brother, he's precious in the eyes of Yahawashi and Yahawashi, man. You know what I'm saying? So he should be precious to you. You should treat every brother like the brother, like Camp say. You should treat every brother like he's a possible elect. You know what I'm saying? He could be possibly the elect. Because we don't know who we are coming back, man. One of us can be Isaiah the prophet, man. You don't ever know. You know what I'm saying? One of us can be Job, or one of us can be whatever, man. We don't know who we are, bro. You know what I'm saying? But we gotta treat every brother. You treat your brother a certain way, man. Go ahead and read that back.
It's Romans 14 and 13. Let us not therefore judge one another anymore, but judge this rather, that no man put a stumbling block or an occasion to fall in his brother's way.
Yeah, let us not therefore judge one another anymore. Hey, when you're in the world, man, and you see somebody, you would throw judgment on that. Oh, look at his shoes, man. He ain't got no Jordans on or whatever. Or look at his pants. He got holes in them, man. Or look at that motherfucker. He look funny, Or whatever, man. You know what I'm saying? But if you're in the truth, that we don't look at the outward man. Outward man, the scripture says, man. We look at the inward man. You know what I'm saying? So when we're among brothers, we vibe off each other's spirit, man, because our spirits are one accord with one another, man. Because we all have the same doctrine, and we are all to the will of Yahawah and Yahawashi, we are all brought together, man. You got something else?
Come. This is the book of First Kings. This is Solomon speaking. This is Solomon. This is 1 Kings 8 and 39. Then hear thou in heaven thy dwelling place, and forgive, Do and give to every man according to his ways, whose heart thou knowest, for thou, even thou only knowest the hearts of all children of men. So it's really Yahawashi Yahawashi who knows what the hearts of all men. We see people on the outward appearance. We see people on many different things. We do judge. So those Christians who say we don't judge, that's a lie. We do judge people.
We do judge.
Even when we're in the world, we judge people. You know what I'm saying? We always put people in categories. Because see, when you're out of this truth, if we don't have this truth, you actually put other people in subcategories. That guy's a rocker, and that's a skater.
Yeah.
That guy's this, that's that. You know what I mean? Oh, I don't like that person. I'm gonna go over there, and so on and so forth. You know what I mean? But only the Most High from heaven knows, man, and only He can forgive, and only He knows why He puts everybody into the body as He does. Then we read it back. This is 1 Kings 8:39. Then hear thou in heaven thy dwelling place, and forgive, and do. Oh, you know what? I'm going to start in 1 Kings, the verse above. 1 Kings 38. Yeah, because this is Solomon. This is Solomon speaking to, I think Solomon's praying. 1 Kings 8:38. What prayer and supplication shall ever be made by any man or by all thy people Israel, which shall know every man the plague of his own heart? The Lord knows the plague of a man's heart, man, the plague of your mind. What bothers you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The Lord knows these things. And men don't know. You know what I'm saying? Every brother has a different lot. Every brother has, different things that plague their minds at times. You know what I mean? Things that they really, really bother you, man. You know what I'm saying? It might be what somebody might think of you. It might be, what you think of yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Brothers have low self-esteem. Brothers have probably all the different things, depression, anxiety, all different kinds of things that we go through, man. It says, what prayer and supplication soever be made by any man or by all thy people Israel, which shall know every man the plague of his own heart, and spread forth his hands toward this house. Right? We pray to the east, because it's talking about Solomon. He was praying, talking about the temple and talking about Israel. Then hear thou in heaven thy dwelling place, and forgive, and do and give to every man according to his ways, whose heart thou knowest. Right? Because the Lord tries the reins. For thou, even thou only knowest the hearts of all the children of men. All right, so the Lord, Solomon was telling, if any man has a plague or if any man has a problem, let him pray, hear his prayer and his supplication, and give according to that man, to what whatever thing, because whatever we do, we have to pay for it, man. There has to be some type of chastisement for the things that we do.
Yeah.
And every man goes through chastisement, man, and it's true. You know what I'm saying? All of us, everyone. The scriptures say, wherefore you are partakers, man, in the Hebrews, the 12th chapter. All sons, everyone that comes to serve the Lord is a partaker and chastised in some way, or shape, or form. Go ahead, man.
That's all. That is
Yeah, bring out that Corinthians, the 12th chapter, though. This is a 14. 1 Corinthians 12, 14.
1 Corinthians 12 and 14. For the body is not one member, but many. If the foot shall say, because I am not the hand, I am not of the body, is it therefore not of the body? And if the ear
so the body is not one member, man, and it's talking about the body of what? The body of the Lord. The body of Yahawashi is many members, man. It's a spiritual temple. It's a spiritual gathering, of the saints of Israel. That's what these Christians can't get, man. That's what we're doing on these highways and hedges. Go ahead,
Al. And if ye say, because I am not the eye, if the ear shall say, because I am not the eye, I am not of the body, is it therefore not of the body?
So the ear cannot say, the ear can't say, that if I'm not part of the eye, I'm not part of the body, man, because it is part of the body. The ear and the eye has this different function. The ear's in the front. The eye is on the front, Salakia, and the ear's on the sides of your head, man. And every single body part, it's a special function. You cannot say I'm not part of the body, because without, we're going to go into that. Go ahead.
If the whole body were an eye, where were the hearing? If the whole if the whole were hearing, where was smelling? But now have Yahawah sent the members of sucking, every one of them that's in the body as it had pleased them.
Con. So the Lord put every member is an eye, every member is an ear, every member is a hair follicle and a fingernail and a toe and a thumb and a foot and an arm and a hip and a leg. We're all different parts of the body, man. Go ahead, brother.
And if they were all one member, where were the body? But now are there many members, yet but one body?
Con.
And the eye cannot say unto the hand, I have no need of thee, nor again the feet to the head, I have no need of you. Nay, much more those members of the body, which seem to be more feeble, are necessary.
Con. Hey, so the eye cannot say into the hand, no part of the body can say to the other part of the body, there's no need of you. Because they're what? They're members of who? They're members of the Lord's body. It's not members of our body. You know what I'm saying? It's members of the Lord's body, man. And I'm gonna real quick, I want to go into that First Corinthians, that word feeble.
Yeah.
Where are we at? 22. First Corinthians 23.
Where we at?
23.
Yeah, that word feeble in the 22 verse, real quick.
Go ahead and read that again.
22, right?
Yes,
22.
Nay, much more those members of the body which seem to be more feeble are necessary.
So every part of the body is necessary, man. Like the scripture, like we just said before, man. Every part of the body is put there as pleased the Most High, man, as it pleases Him, man. So like the brother said, man. Everything has its point. Go ahead, Abby. You want to do that? You want to get that word feeble, right?
Yeah, but I was just listening to you. Something.
Oh, okay, yeah. What's that back again now?
Nay, much more those members of the body which seem to be more feeble are necessary.
Yeah. Are you Corinthians, right? 12?
1 Corinthians 12 and
Jump to 23.
And those members of the body which were deemed to be less honorable, upon these we bestow more abundant honor.
Come. So like 1 second, brother. In the 22nd verse, it says, "Not nay, much more those members of the body which seem to be more feeble."
There you go.
Before we go into the honorable parts of the body, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna look up that word feeble real quick.
Strong's G772.
Asthenes is that word feeble in the Greek. It says weak, infirm, feeble. All right, so those members of the body which seem to be more feeble are necessary. And you know what? There very much could be members of the body that are more weaker than others, right? The scriptures, obviously the scriptures are telling us that, man. So we need to accept that. We, you know what I'm saying, respect that, even ourselves. You know what I'm saying? I speak for myself too. If there's, if I come across something, to the Spirit, the scripture say, be all things to all men, man. You know what I'm saying? To gain the more, so we can both partake in the glory. Go ahead, brother. I just wanted to bring that out real quick.
I got a piece of Pierce. It's Romans 14:1. Him that's weak in the faith, receive ye, but not to doubtful disputations, man. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, there could be brothers weak in the faith, man, and you know what I'm saying? There could be brothers that that are they have trouble, with adversity or tribulation. You know what I'm saying? They don't know how to get through it yet, and that's what older brothers are for, man. To guide these younger brothers into the tribulations and pitfalls of being in this truth, man. Because that's what's going to happen. That's a guarantee, man. That's a given. You know what I'm saying?
Hold on, I got to select here.
Go ahead.
I have to Google it real quick. I'm not too remembering of. This is the scriptures. It's in the book of Luke real quick, and then we go back to what we were. Right, because the brother was saying that what that sometimes we don't brothers we don't deal with certain things like other brothers deal with certain things for whatever the reason may be, man. But even when you come up on levels, what do? You comfort other brothers, man.
Yeah.
We comfort each other with this word. The scriptures say, this is Luke 22 and 31, and the Lord said, Simon, Simon, behold, Satan hath desired to have you, that he may sift you as wheat. But I have prayed for thee, that thy faith fail not, and when thou art converted, strengthen thy brethren.
Man, that's good. That's
So
good.
that's what we do. We do this. We do this to edify, man. We do this to strengthen one another, man. That's what we're in this thing for, man. We're not in this thing for anything else, man.
No, we're not for no vainglory or to try to get a name for ourselves or any type of thing like any type of worldly or carnal thing like that, man. You know what I'm saying? We're here to push the word of Yahawashi to His glory. You know what I'm saying? To build brothers up. And that's also to the glory of Yahawashi. Because why you build a brother up for, man? So he can have that strength and he can be on that level to push out this word too, man. On that elite level, like the brother was saying.
Come on, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We're the elites in this thing, like the brother was saying, man. This harder than neighbor's seal, like the brother always saying, man.
Yeah.
And it is, man, because
It is.
because not every man can deal with this type of stuff that brothers be dealing with, man.
It's a high spiritual thing, and there's brothers on other higher spiritual levels. You know what I'm saying? That really bring out some stuff that's just like, damn,
that blows your mind.
That's why they're called elders, man. That's why they're called apostles.
For real.
But I got this one real quick. This is our 2 Corinthians 1 and 3. Blessed be the Most High, even the Father of our Lord Yahawashi Hamashiach, the Father of mercies and the Most High of all comfort. All right. Because Yahawashi, especially Yahawashi being the advocate, he comforts us. Who comforts us in all our tribulation, that we may be able to comfort them which are in any trouble by the comfort wherewith we ourselves are comforted of the Most High. So it's the things that we learn through our tribulation. Yahawashi as teaching us things through tribulation, through chastisement, spanking, spiritual spankings. A lot of different things. Everything is spiritual. We perceive everything as spiritual. And when things go down, we're like, hey, we got to go to the scriptures, man. We got to go to the scriptures, and the Lord comforts us. And with that same comfort, we comfort other brothers, man.
Come on, man. Like the brother said, like we be in one body. Hey, just like your own body example, man. Hey, if your knee hurts, the rest of the body's gonna be affected by it. You know what I'm saying? So you're gonna do something to try to remedy that, man. So like if you see a brother that you can tell by his countenance that he's going through some bullshit or whatever, you're gonna try to get at that brother and see if you can give him an encouraging word or two, man. You know what I'm saying? Because it affects the whole camp. It affects the whole body, man. You know what I'm saying? If you got a broken hand, you can't work correctly. You know what I'm saying? You can't lift or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So one part affects the other. So we can't say that that this part's this part's lowly, this part's higher. Like the scripture will say, the eye, the ear can hear, and the eye see. You know what I'm saying? They're not of the body, roughly paraphrasing, man. But that's what it's going into, man. We gotta look at this, as a whole. Brother be for one another, man. You know what I'm saying? Like the scripture said, you gotta walk that straight path. Well, one man can only enter, but at the same time, we're here through the edification of the body, man, and to exhort one another, man, to exhort brothers, man. You know what I mean?
We could go back to 1 Corinthians. You know what? If you want to read it, brother, and Shamar, you can break it down.
Come on.
1 Corinthians 12 and 22.
1 Corinthians 12 and 22. Nay, much more those members of the body which seem to be more feeble or necessary.
Come on. Read that back again, brother.
Nay, much more those members of the body which seem to be more feeble or necessary.
Yes, much more feeble that are necessary, man. So the weak parts are the most necessary parts, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, take for instance your eye, man. Your eyes was this small. But what happens if you can't see? You know what I'm saying, man?
Yeah.
Take for example a brother in the cab, the cameraman. Okay, what happens if the cameraman not there? You know what I'm saying? What happened if, someone got to hold the camera, saying? Somebody, what happens if you don't got a brother holding posts? Someone can peep up on you, man. And what happens if you don't got a brother holding signs, man? Saying? The mess, the people that walk by or drive by, hey, people drive by and they look, man. Saying? They look hard too. They want to see, hey, what are these people, about? Saying? So every brother's important, man. The reader's important, man. The brother that's bringing down scriptures is important, man. The brother that's giving precepts is important, man. Saying? The new brother coming in to the brother, the leader of the camp, man. We all feed off one another, man. We all are dependent on one another to a certain extent, man. Brothers are there for each other, man. And that's brotherhood. That's what the scripture speaks about, man. The scripture speaks about charity, man, a lot, man. Charity edifies, man. Charity covers a multitude of sins. You know what I'm saying? So brotherly love is an important thing, and that's why Yahawashi had 12 disciples, man. And they sup with one another, and they break bread with one another, man. The apostles did that too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, hey, Con, but then if I may add too, just like little brothers that come in, littler than ourselves that come into the fold, man. Even them, man, you don't want to see them go through certain things, man. You don't want to see them, get discouraged, man. We're in this for what? We're in this to help brothers, man. We're in this to help, brothers to make it, like how we would like to make it, man. Because we were there at that point one time, I mean, I'm not saying that we're on any. I'm not saying I'm on any level because I'm not. But and another thing too, and I think about this. So when I read this chapter, I think about this too a lot. When I first came into this truth, long story short, when you at work, you have to pick up trash. If you don't pick up that trash, it doesn't matter what occupation you're in. Doesn't matter what you're building, what office, whatever your trade or whatever you may be doing. If you don't pick up the trash, you're not done with the job. And that dude, he might not be a CEO, but he's still important to get the job done. You know what I'm saying? So I always think about that when I read these scriptures and talking about the body. Every member is important. Every member of a company is important. Every member of the church is important. You know what I'm saying? If he's doing the right thing, right? Of course,
God, like the brother was saying, every brother's important, man, and every brother's there through the will of Yahawashi and Yahawashi, man. Like I said, the apostles, they had that same brotherhood among each other, man. And this is the book of Acts. This is 2 and 42, and it's talking about the apostles, man. And the people that are with them, the brothers they brought in with them, man. It says, and they continue steadfastly the apostles' doctrine. Hey, that's what we're doing, man. We continue steadfastly the apostles' doctrine, man. Who the apostles of GMS, man? From elder to Har on down, man. And they continue steadfastly the apostles' doctrine and in fellowship and in breaking bread and in prayers. And that's what we do, man. You know what I'm saying? After camp, we fellowship, man. We break bread with one another, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to jump down to 44. It says, and all that believe were together and had all things in common. Hey, we're on one accord. Our brothers are on one accord, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to jump down to 46. And they continued daily with one accord in the temple, and breaking bread from house to house did they eat their meat with gladness and singleness of heart. So that shows you right there, man, that we're a unit, man. Singleness of heart, man. That shows you right there that the body, man, one person, the body, all members of the body make one being, man. You know what I'm saying? So we're a unit, you know what I'm saying? We're a unit. Another word for unit is unity, man. So we're united, man, as one. You know what I'm saying? And when we go out there on the highways and byways, we're a force to be reckoned with, man. Because every brother, whatever level that brother's on, man, he got something to bring to the table, man. We're a force to be reckoned with, man. You know what I'm saying? And through the spirit of Bahasham Yahawashi, we fight those spiritual battles, man, with the faith that the Most High gives us, man. You got something now?
Come on, brother. We could finish out with that Corinthians 12 and 23. Go ahead.
It's 1 Corinthians 12 and 23. And those members of the body which we think to be less honorable upon us, these we bestow more abundant honor, and our uncomely parts have more abundant comeliness.
That's right. So read it back, brother Salakia.
Con, and those members of the body which we think to be less honorable, on these we bestow more abundant honor.
Right, because in that book of Acts 2 and 47, that last verse, it says, and the Lord added to them. Run it back. What was that? Acts 2 and what?
Acts 2:47.
7?
7, yeah. Praise Yahawah, having favor with all the people, and the Most High added to the church daily such as should be saved.
Right. See, so when all the apostles and when they had all things common, they were continuing. People came in, they were continuing and steadfast in the doctrine, and the Lord added as should be saved.
Yeah, so let me say,
Can I run that back, brother? So the Lord is adding every day. You know what I'm saying? On different parts, brothers coming in. They're coming in.
Yeah,
The elect's coming in. The elect's getting waking up. This truth is spreading. 23.
And those members of the body which we think to be less honorable, upon these we bestow more abundant honor, and over comely parts have more abundant comeliness.
Right. So those parts of the body that are even those that are coming in. Hey, some people might say they're not that honorable. You know what I'm saying? Because they might not be deep. They might not be on that meat. They might be on that milk. And younger brothers are coming in, and we rejoice over younger brothers, man. And we love the little younger brothers because they actually look like babies. I mean.
We were all there at one point.
Right, con.
And we still there, in a sense. You know what I'm saying?
And some other brothers said too. Milk is like meat to babies, man. But we them parts of the body. You got brothers teaching sign language. Them people that are in the truth that are doing learning this truth through the sign language. Even them are probably seeing this weak or infirm, have infirmities. You know what I mean? Those type of brothers, man, are necessary. Even them, they might seem less honorable. We bestow upon them more abundant, more honor, man. Because it's cool. It would be cool to see somebody, teaching. It's cool to see brothers teaching the word in sign language, or what I'm saying. We know that there's that 1/3. Who knows? There's probably people that are handicapped and all different types of believers, but they're all parts of the body, not just us that are on the highways and hedges. You know what I'm saying? Lord willing, we're part of that 144, but even that 1/3 is important.
Well, it actually goes to show you that this word can't be stopped, man. Whether it be as coming in sign language or coming in different languages, man. This brother's bringing out this truth in different languages, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Spanish, what I'm saying? Other languages, man. This word can't be stopped, man. This truth can't be stopped, man. As the scripture said in Acts, such as should be saved. So wherever the Most High is going to wake up throughout the whole world, it's going to happen, man. Ain't no stopping it, man. Ain't no stopping it.
And that's all different types of people, man.
All different
the
types.
Multitudes, man. The multitudes are going to be coming in. Even the scripture's talking about in the last hour.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We don't know what brothers is going through, man. You know what I'm saying? But through the power and the spirit of Yahawashi, the Lord's helping the brothers to endure one more day, man.
To wake up that elect.
Read again.
Come.
This is 1 Corinthians 12 and 23. And those members of the body which we think be less honorable, upon these we bestow more abundant honor, and our uncomely parts have more abundant comeliness. For our comely parts to have no need, but Yahawah has tempered
Tempered the body.
Tempered the body, together has given more abundant honor to the part which lacked.
So we, the Lord has given, more honor to the part that lacked, because, the little guys, and we're all little guys in the eyes of Yahawah, but there is little guys in the truth. And them little guys, they're important, man. You know what I'm saying? Those parts that are infirm or weak or whatever the case may be. Them parts, they bring a certain flavor to the knowledge. They bring a certain angle to the knowledge, but a righteous angle. You know what I'm saying? They really, it's important, man. Go ahead, brother. 25.
There shall be no schism in the body, that the members should have have the same care for one another.
The members should have the same care for one another, and that's what we do. We have care for one another, whether there's brothers dealing with it, whether brothers going through it or whatnot. Hey, we care for that. We care for that man. You know what I'm saying? We care for brothers that are going through things in other camps. You know what I'm saying? We reach out to them, and they reach out to us, so on and so forth. Go ahead, bro. 26.
And whether one member suffer, all members suffer with it, or one member be honored, all members rejoice with it.
And that's plain, bro. Whether one suffers, we all suffer, and if one rejoices, if one is put in if one is commended by the Most High, hey man, we
all glad, man.
Yeah, we're all glad. We rejoice, just like the apostles, man.
Yeah,
we give them double honors for a reason,
for
man.
real, man. And when you see a brother growing, it's rejoicing, man. It's rejoicing to see a brother growing in this truth, man.
Mm-hmm.
When you see a brother going on another level, man. When you see a brother, gaining more faith, or when you see a brother going through, overcoming a tribulation or a temptation or a problem, we rejoice, man. We don't like seeing our brothers down, man. We don't like seeing our brothers in need. You know what I'm saying? We like to see, we care, like we say, we have brotherly love toward one another, man. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Come.
And now ye are the body of Mashiach, and members in particular. And Yahawah has sent some in the church, first apostles,
Come. It says, now ye are the body of Hamashiach and members in particular. So every single member is a member in particular. There is no separating one dude. There is no, pull one dude to the side. You know what I'm saying? No, everyone's important, man. Every is members to the body in particular. Go ahead.
And Yahawah has set some in the church, first apostles, secondary prophets, thirdly teachers, after that miracles, that gifts of healings, helps, governments, diversities of tongues. Are all apostles? Are all prophets? Are all teachers? Are all workers of miracles? Have all the gift of healing? Have all the gifts of healing? Do all speak with tongues? Do all interpret?
Do all interpret?
But covet earnestly the best gifts, and yet hear that?
But covet earnestly
the best gifts, but yet I unto you more exceedingly way.
Yeah, but covet earnestly the best gifts, right? Because everyone has a different gift, man. You've got apostles all the way to different tongues, different helps, miracles. It says, but covet earnestly the best gifts, and yet I shew unto you a more excellent way. All right. And that excellent way, man, is basically, to prophesy, man. You know what I'm saying? That's the best thing you can do in this thing is prophesy, the correct doctrine, and that's what we covet, us being members of the body, man. Even from the lowest member to the highest member, we covet to prophesy, the coming of Yahawashi and Yahawashi. Everybody's got it now?
Yeah,
Come on, and with that, go ahead, brother.
Was that we want to say Barak Yahawah,
Barak Yahawah,
Barak Yahawashi, Barak Yahawah, Barak Yahawashi,
Yahawashi,
Barak Yahawah,
Yahawashi,
Barak Yahawashi.
Shalom.
Shalom.